hello out there in social media land. It is another phenomenal evening right here on Uncensored Conversation with Elevated, Not Tolerated. And I'm your hostess with the mostest, Coach Victoria. And I am super excited about this guest that's with us tonight. We are going to have a phenomenal time. Get out your pens and paper because I want you to be able to get the information that you need to keep you moving into your next level. Because here at Uncensored Conversation, we're about elevating all of us to get to that next level. Because guess what? It's time for us to be empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated. My phenomenal guest this evening is the one and only Krystal Boza is in the house on tonight, and she is a phenomenal individual. I had one conversation with her, and I'm like, you know what? That's the chick that's got to come to Uncensored Conversation and empower all of you out there with her amazing business and her amazing knowledge. And I want you to be ready because this young lady is going to empower us tonight to talk about mental health and all of those things behind the scenes that sometimes we take for granted, guys. And so, Krystal, I am super excited to have you with us tonight. Girl, how you doing?
I'm so good. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to jump into this chat.
I know that's right. We're gonna do that thing, girl. We got to get in here and do some talking. I'm gonna put up Krystal's information so you guys will be able to write down what you need during the conversation, and we'll put up more information throughout the show. But I want to say hello to all of you out there that's tuning in already. My sister Vanessa, hey, thanks for joining. Coach K's in the house. I tell you, and all of you that are watching from behind the scenes or watching, it's okay. We're not mad at you as long as you're getting the information that you need. But please go out there, care, share, and like, and tell some other good folks about what we're doing tonight so that you can get empowered as well. My good friend, the Diva Brittany's in the house too. Wait a minute. Diva coming in. So happy to have all of you all. Miss Carrie's in the house on the night too. So this is what I like to do, Krystal. Usually I, read a little bit about my guests, but sometimes I just like my guests to tell people who they are and what they do and why they can find you. And then we can jump into the conversation. How about that?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Go ahead, girl. Tell them who you are, Miss Fabulous.
Yes. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you so much again for having me. I'm really excited to kind of jump into this. Yeah, my name is Krystal. I own Therapy Hour. It's a mental health private practice. I am fully online in the state of Florida. I've been doing this. I've been in the field about 10 years, and I've been in private practice. I'm going into my third year. So it's been great. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. 10 years. You can't be that much. Girl, what you do? Did you go to college when you was 2? Girl, I mean,
it's genes. It's good.
I told you I'm full of it.
It's good genes. Listen, it's the good genes. Yeah.
I know. Girl. Well, let me ask you this, this question right off the bat, because, I know why I like doing coaching and why I like to do the motivation. I know why I went into that field. And as well as other things I've done or continue to do. But let me ask you this. What was your turning point when you decided this is what you wanted to do? This is what you wanted to give back to the people?
That's a great question. So, yeah, good question. My mother actually has been working for the VA for 35 years. She retired. And I originally got started in the VA. I have about 12, 13 years of volunteer service through the VA. And I met social workers there. They kind of told me about their experience, and I love to connect with people. I love to hear their stories. I love to hear what makes them up and what makes them who they are. And social work seemed like a really good fit. You can do a lot with social work. I worked in a lot of different fields and a lot of different agencies. So it's very, very diverse. And I've met a lot of people. So it kind of fit, it kind of fit my personality and fit what I wanted to do and really try to get involved with other people in their lives and see how I can help.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So just tapping in and seeing what's going on in the world, and you just said, you know what, this is the place I need to be.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm going to say this off the bat to all of you that are watching tonight, please go out there and share, care, and like, because, Krystal and I have talked about some things that we definitely want to share on the show tonight. To get more feedback from people and so people can get understanding. But we both agree that everyone, and I say this all the time, Krystal, as I told you, I think everybody needs some form of a counselor, therapist in their life. And what I think you're doing with your program is going to be able to be beneficial to more people, because of the fact some people do not have the opportunity or the means to be able to go into a physical facility, as well as the fact, COVID hit everybody pretty hard, and that's still, and guys, it's still out there. So please be aware of that. But, I really believe that a lot of people, because of that, that's even another thing that we're going to talk about tonight, what that effect has happened to people.
Mhm.
But can you touch on a little bit why you decided to do online to offer your services? Because I think it's amazing. I absolutely do. I think it's amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great question. So, you know, back when I first graduated college and got into the field, it looked very different than it does now. And COVID hit and it completely changed the course of our field. I would think a lot of therapists would probably agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I think since COVID and also the accessibility, when you think of in person, which in person is great, right? I think that was a huge piece that we were missing through COVID. In person realistically only gets you a certain mile radius. And when you open that telehealth, I can cover the state of Florida. And so
Wow.
I think it's reaching more people. And then I did hear, some people alone have anxiety, just going out or driving or being at different places or just walking into a new building, trying to
Mm-hmm.
find a new location.
That's
Um,
right.
they also have social anxiety. Who am I going to cross paths with? Who am I going to run into? Who do I might have to talk to? And the other thing I think that really drew my attraction is probably the convenience and how quickly it can happen. You can go straight on my website, social media, wherever, and you can find my calendar that's open up to the other girls that also work for Therapy Hour. And you can book your appointment right there online, free consultation, and as well as many other therapists.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that was the other thing too, is that in a world of technology, especially after COVID, it really opens up that availability and the convenience, the
Right.
accessibility, right? And
Right.
especially if we get sick or, we get into, God forbid, an accident or whatever, where our mobility is kind of restricted, at least I don't have to sacrifice my own therapy
That's
for
true.
my time. Yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you're just tuning in, we are talking to this phenomenal expert. She is an expert in her field, y'all. She just told us her years of service in the field. And I know just looking at her and listening to her, she stays on top of her game. So look, go out there and care, share, and like, and invite people to come over and join the conversation with me and Krystal tonight, because we're going to tap into mental health. And we're going to bring it to the table. That we're going to hopefully, Krystal, through our conversation, we're going to pull off the shades on some of this stuff that people are still confused about when they talk about mental health. There's a couple of things that I definitely want to talk. I want you to talk about, because I think not only do we need to identify it, but we also need to know those things that people think Oh, Miss Bella, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us though
Thanks.
tonight. We appreciate you. And look, she said, oh, look, here we go. I love it. I love it that people come out and say, I help. Hey, thank you, Miss Bella. See, that's what I'm talking about. Recommending somebody that you know does the job. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. And Miss Bella, you got to come on over here and be with us. We appreciate you. So this is the thing. So Chris, I want to tap into this. You mentioned that you have other people that are on staff with you. Can you kind of tap into that with us and let us know how many people maybe work for you, or give us the dynamics of your facility for your program. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I have 7 other therapists, different variations and different stages of their career. Also different levels of specialties, uh, extremely diverse. Spanish speaking, um, all telehealth, of course, but they all have different, their own different styles, um, a good set of age range, different locations, different availability as well. So I try to offer some different types of availability
Mm-hmm.
because, everybody works, usually work, family,
Right.
the rat race of life. And so, we try to offer evening times, weekend times, things like that. So it kind of helps fit your life as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
And the women are fantastic. They're great. They're really responsive and they have really good availability. And some work with like PTSD, trauma focused, addiction. We work heavy with addiction, some domestic violence, definitely domestic violence. Some with kids, family therapy, play therapy. So a little bit of sprinkles of kind of anything that people are kind of wanting to reach out for.
So you brought up another question. Let's see how we doing this, Crystal. We working this. So Crystal,
We
give
do right in there.
just in there, girl. We look. This is our vibe, man. This is what we do. So, Chris, you kind of touched into it by telling us about your staff. So, kind of give the folks an idea of what your age group is for your agency, and she's giving y'all kind of an area of the things that she deals with her organization, with the different other caseworkers that she has with her. But Chris, kind of tap into that age group for us.
Yeah, so some work with like young adults through aging, and some kids, adolescents, it depends, right? I think telehealth can be great for some clients, but if we do your free consultation and any one of us are going to say telehealth might not be the best. Some play therapy is so much better in person because you get the figures, you get the sandbox, you get the crayons, you get everything right there. So sometimes we'll definitely recommend in person. But yeah, we work with kids, late adolescent through late adulthood. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Big
That
range.
right there is, and with all of the things that are happening, especially in our school areas, with bullying and all of those things, I think it's really good that we have other options out there for individuals. And I'm going to tap onto this right now before I forget, Chris, because I told you I still get the COVID brain every now and then. But you just said something that made me remember. So a lot of times when we're talking about adolescence and we're talking about bullying, one of the things that okay, y'all, I looked at TikTok. That's a mind blower right there, Crystal. That thing right there. Look, I think everybody on there need a minute. They need to call you for a session before they start, TikTok, because some of them need.
Please
But
do.
please call Crystal before you took a talk. Okay. Anywho, I was watching a TikTok and I thought it was going to be something positive, but it ended up making me so freaking mad that
Mm,
not only did I cut off TikTok, but I cut off my phone. Okay.
mm.
this person, I'm trying to be so nice. This is
Individual.
it is uncensored conversation, y'all, for a reason. Okay. So this idiot says that bullying, you can get over bullying if you're in school. Just get over it. It doesn't happen when you get older. Well, I'm sorry. I was bullied in school, and it was a lasting effect that rolled over into my adult life, that caused me not to have some relationships with some people, but it also caused me to have. I already have a lot. Yeah, this is me being transparent. Krystal already know I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay, don't y'all say nothing. Okay, but this is the thing. It did cause me not to, you kind of standoffish with people because you're not sure if they're going to hurt you, emotionally, physically, or what have you. And I think some of that came from being bullied back in the day.
Mhm.
So can you tap on into the, am I the one who's crazy? Or is it a possibility that bullying in your youth can roll over to your adulthood?
Okay. All very good questions. My first initial reaction is I struggle with the phrase get over it,
Thank
right?
you.
It's minimizing for somebody else's feelings and experiences, which we never want to minimize. However, one person experiences situations is their reality, right? What you're describing is trauma. And I think, the first part of this is people perceive trauma sometimes as a huge event, or they refer to it as something that is more monumental. And trauma can take forms in any kind of way. It's up to us of how it really impacts us, right? And so that can kind of form that trauma. In a sense of managing that and dealing with it, yeah, it's kind of being aware that it's okay to label it trauma. That doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. That also doesn't mean that I'm crazy, right? These whole
Thank
phrases of I'm crazy. No,
you.
it's we're
Come on,
humans.
girl.
We go through life experiences, and you know, something's going to impact me differently. When people say kind of get over it, that kind of concept, well, some people might be able to maybe roll with the punches. The other person, it might be a speed bump. It might be the exact same experience, but neither one of us are wrong for how we process that experience. It's how we process it, and that's okay. That's okay. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's nothing
Well,
wrong.
I'm going to find that gentleman's TikTok,
Come over to me.
and I'm going to say, look, I have someone that you need to talk to because you need assistance, and I got the person that can help you with that.
Oh yeah.
So
Give
because
me
I think one of the things that bothers me about social media in general, this is just my opinion, and it's my show, so I can give my opinion. But I feel like sometimes, because social media is everybody's go-to for everything right now. You go to TikTok to find how to cook a piece of bread. You know what I'm saying? You come on Facebook because you want to find people and you want to see what everybody else is doing. You go to YouTube because you want to see all of the latest news. I mean, there's so many things out there, but I think we get into the point that social media is our doctor, and it's not. Guys, may I please say that social media is not your doctor. We have an expert in the house on today that has been trained in mental health. Google is fine. Google University, we appreciate you. However, when in doubt for medical attention, seek someone who has the education, the background, and the knowledge and the wisdom. Don't rely on social media to be your go-to. Would you agree, Krystal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of pros and cons of social media, which, pros and cons, it can kind of get a little murky. So you do have to kind of tread lightly. And it is all about how you use it. I do believe in tools and how we
Yes.
use those tools.
Yes.
While I don't want people to run away and then all of a sudden diagnose and then come back and say, oh my gosh, Krystal, TikTok or Instagram or whatever said this about me. This must be true. Well, no, let's process it a little bit different and let's see maybe what applies and what doesn't. But yeah, let's not self diagnose. I think any mental health profession and probably a doctor would tell you the same thing. Please don't diagnose yourself.
I totally agree. I
Mhm.
left Brittany's question up because that Brittany, thank you, girl. You know how the diva be thinking some days. Check it out. I was going to ask you that question as well. Does your company serve other states other than Florida? And if not, do you have connections in other states that you can share with individuals who will reach out to you? But before you answer that question, hold that thought because I didn't give my disclaimer, guys. Krystal said earlier, when you call her office and get a consultation, a free consultation. So I'm telling you tonight, those of you that will reach out to me and IM me later, don't do it. Don't do it. Krystal is not giving prices on anything tonight at all. Krystal, we will not answer any pricing questions. She will answer direct questions. She will answer the give it's, y'all. But keep in mind she is a professional and she does have this amazing website and hotline. So if you desire to reach out to her for further in-depth information, we got her information up there for you to see. Sorry, Chris, I had to get that out because I get it all the time and I want to make sure I cover you, my girl. I got to cover you.
Love it.
So
Thank
can you answer the question for me and Brittany? Does your service serve outside of Florida?
Yeah, thank you, Brittany. That's such a good question. This is something that I think every therapist is struggling with. We do have to service the state that we're licensed in. So I'm currently licensed in Florida and in New Jersey. Those are the only two states that I can see right now. The rest of us therapists are just hoping and praying that we get a multi-state license, and then ideally this will open up to multiple states. So we're hoping and praying. But yeah, if you have any questions about another state, you're welcome to reach out to me directly. Right now, my website is a work in progress. So hopefully it'll be kind of up and going and then you can book right there. But just call me or shoot me a text and I'll take care of you. Yeah.
She go take care of y'all. See, that's what I'm talking about.
I get
Collaboration. My
you.
girl Krystal says if she can't help you, she will find somebody that can, or she will direct your path and how you can get somebody to get your help on. And
Yep.
that is what I'm talking about, Krystal. Because somebody would have came, and I've had people in my earlier shows that you I don't cover everything. I'm a life coach, but I don't cover everything.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't.
Mm-hmm.
I know my limitations. I know my lane, and baby, I stay in them. And that's what Krystal's telling y'all tonight. She know her lane,
Yep.
and that's why she gonna stay in. So if y'all need to find out anything else, you can feel free to give her a call, shoot her a text message, and let's get this ball rolling for you. Krystal, I'm gonna give us a few minutes break. I know I want to get you grab your glass of water because now we're gonna get into the dirties
Good.
of
All
mental
right.
health. Oh Lord, don't y'all get scared and run away now because it's going to be information that you're going to need because we want to know what mental health really means. Guys, we got some things coming up tomorrow. We want you to see it. We are back, y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to go out here and make sure if you are just tuning in, get out there and tell somebody to get on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm trying to remember where we at, Krystal, but we're all over social media. I just can tell y'all that. How about that? Get on YouTube, Facebook, tell people we got the phenomenal Krystal in the house who's going to be talking about mytherapyhour.com, which is her amazing program stationed in Florida, but she can hit you with the state of New Jersey if you behave yourself. So, Krystal, I want to get into this because, you know, I think I tapped into it a little bit with you, but I think people don't know what mental health is. Did kind of break down it into a good old-fashioned language that people will say, "Oh, so that's mental health," because people think mental health is only people, and y'all forgive me, I'm not trying to be ugly, that are cocoa puffs. But y'all need to know what y'all talking about when you say, "Oh, that person's crazy." Like y'all be talking about me behind my back, Krystal. Get them, Krystal. So, Krystal, please help us teach these people out there. Teach us, teach me. What is the true meaning and definition of mental health?
Yeah, so I'm a very simplistic person, right? Pretty simple. Let's chalk it up real simple here. Thoughts, feelings, behaviors, responses. There's your mental health. Easy as that.
And with that, I say, Krystal, so that means everybody should be checking in and talking to it. Because we all experience these things, guys.
Yeah. Right?
We're all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, your feelings, your thoughts, they're all connected, right? And the reason that I respond and behave a certain way is because of my feelings and my thoughts. And any kind of relationships, romantic, coworkers, friends, family, children, anything like that, that all kind of goes to our mental health, right? We have things that we experience, whether it's an event that happened, a really bad day, any kind of relationship stuff, good stuff, right? Maybe transitioning, maybe moving. A lot of people talk about struggling with change, you know, not to mention that's all present moment stuff, right? Not to mention everything we've been through.
Right.
Right. So things that we've been through, things that we've been exposed to, things that we've seen, right? Whether it's primary trauma of something that I've experienced, whether it's secondary trauma, something that I saw or heard, right? Or was told. There's the majority of humans have experienced some level of trauma. All mental health.
So, okay. So I feel the spirits of people thinking right now. Okay. And I can say this about me, right? But I want you to kind of, because, you know, I'm a certified master life coach, and people, I refer people, Krystal, because I have a obligation and a duty. When people start telling me certain things in my initial clarity sessions, if you will, or even once we are actually in a goal setting, planning environment, I will say, if I hear certain things, I am quick to say, hey, I think it's time for you to leave me, because I am not Krystal, y'all. I'm not Krystal. I'm a certified master life coach. She is a licensed professional. I'm gonna leave it right there, because, Krystal, I want you to tell the folks out there, and you can be very transparent and honest, because I told you this is uncensored conversation. So tell the people why I send my clients to you versus me holding on to them. And if you say, hey, I don't like life coaches, they stink, I'm gonna say, Krystal, get off my show. No.
I would never say that.
But can you help me people be parallel to why we do work good together,
We
and
do.
why and I'm speaking to all of my other fellow coaches out there, because some of y'all messing up, y'all screwing up big time. I'm telling you, Krystal,
I
y'all
got
not
you.
doctors, not
Mhm,
lawyers and Indians and chiefs. You
mhm,
are life coaches,
mhm,
right? You are
mhm,
certified life coaches, unless you have a degree
mhm.
like her, the chick over here. Oh, you're on this side. I forgot what side you're on. But
Oops.
unless you, oh, is it? Chris is loving this. But unless you're licensed like her, there's certain things that you can't talk about. So, Krista, can you help me help my fellow coaches out there and the people know how we work parallel together?
Mhm. Absolutely. Such a good question. I would hope more coaches would ask the same question because that would be fantastic, right? There is a huge sector that therapists and coaches can definitely work hand in hand. There's a lot of things structurally that maybe therapists might not necessarily get into, right? And so the logistics of life, whether it's work, school, certain things of setting your goals one step next to the other, right? I'm busy over here digging. And when I tell you I'm a curious person and I will dig, I'm here to dig and challenge and poke holes. I always tell people, I tell my clients, listen, I'm about to poke a lot of holes. I promise I'll patch them up, but I'm about to poke a lot of holes. Right. And that's my job, is to kind of
That's
dig
right.
in, see what's going on. And so the hand in hand part is, and which is why maybe you might refer people to me. So to answer that question, if you poke too far and if you open up something, I always tell somebody, I'm never going to open up something that I can't close. And so, Victoria, if you have a client and you open something and it happens to be Pandora's box, and all of a
Girl,
sudden I have all of these things, and I call it stuff. So we all have stuff. Some people refer to it as
that's
baggage.
it.
I call it as
That's it.
stuff. All of a sudden, they lay out all of their stuff right in front of you, right? And then all of a sudden, Victoria's like, holy mother, this is like a lot of
Better
stuff,
believe it. Mm-hmm.
right? But then
That's
I'm
right.
right. Victoria's over here working on this. And I'm like, ooh, give me the stuff because I'll take all the
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right? Because here I can open this up, dissect it, get into it. And then that would set you up for even a better session with Victoria, where she's going to kind of put those things one foot after the other. And I'm
That
over
part.
here patching up your stuff to make sure your mental health, back to the mental health, kind of gets nice and soothed over so that you go into Victoria being like, yes, I can kill this right now. Like, I've got this. Right. And
That's
that's where it will kind of go hand in hand.
see, y'all. See. Okay, so y'all stop acting like y'all don't know what your limitations are, because I've had some dealings, Krystal, with and I'm still friends with them. I ain't mad at them. But
Mhm.
I've had some people in, therapists or clinical people, if you will, and they're totally against the coaching industry, and I think again, it's a lack of understanding what the other one can do. I am thankful that you're not one of those people, because I can see. And guys, I'm telling you, if I get any clients out there from New Jersey and Florida, you're going to see Krystal. You're not going to be bothering me. I'm just telling you right now. I ain't fooling with you, because I actually had a client one time, Krystal, that I knew just from the 5 minute. I said, no, I cannot. I will not. And
Mm.
the individual, I was able to find a local person for them, which I was amazing. It was great to know that that person was like you, willing to work with coaches. But I think people sometimes forget that we're not working against each other. We're working together. We're here to better those people out there. That's the reason why I wanted Krystal on the show, this so she could talk more about these things, because you guys have got to understand that the mindset that we're in right now, the things that's going on in the world, we need a Krystal in our life. I'm gonna stress this again. Everybody needs a therapist, a social worker. You need a Krystal in your life. You need that therapy person in your life. I was joking with her before the show, and I said, "This is my free one." Because I was having a little moment there, and I needed to, get it
Mhm.
out there. And
Mhm.
so it's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So, Krystal, we were talking earlier before this show.
Mhm.
I think in certain demographics,
Mhm.
people are still afraid to talk about mental health,
Mhm.
right? And you and I were talking, about, suicide is a big thing, and people sometimes do not want to talk about it. They still believe in that old saying, "What happens in the house stays in the house," kind of deal. But
Mhm.
we got to be a little bit more proactive, guys, because suicide is on a level, is on a rise again. I don't think it ever stopped. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
People that are dealing with issues that go way past coaching and me helping you set some goals and objectives. It goes way past that. That you need to be able to see a therapist and talk to Krystal. So, Krystal, what do you know? I want people to understand that, there are certain signals and signs that we need to be looking at. If I notice certain things, because I, like, you know some of my past, and so there's certain things that I look at when I see somebody who's a potential in domestic violence. I
Mm.
my
Mhm.
my my antennas go up because I was in it, right? So, but there are people out there who don't know what to say if they see somebody or know somebody that may need mental health counseling.
Mhm.
You need you. So
Mhm.
can you kind of give folks a little description or a tool that they can? Now, look, y'all, don't be out there diagnosing everybody, saying, "Look, everybody needs to go see." Look, while I want her business to rise, I do not want it to rise like that. But but if you are seeing someone and you're noticing some things, even if it's some things that you have questions about, is it some things that you would recommend people, say, if you see X, Y, and Z? Don't I know you can't give us a whole dictionary, but can you give us some kind of key points, especially with suicidal behavior, domestic violence behavior, um, yeah, those issues that we talk
Mhm.
about. Can you help
Mhm.
us out a little bit? Miss Cameron,
Yeah.
get to your question just a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, that's such a good question. So we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going. I got it on hold for us.
Such a good question. Okay. Yeah. So, few things with that as far as like, we'll start with like signs and symptoms to kind of look out for. They do vary. It's a very big
Mhm.
variation. Usually, my first question is if the person is taking medications, if they are, have we run out? Have we stopped? Is there any change in medications? So, that's always a really good tall tale sign if somebody just stops taking any kind of medications. And what I mean by that is if you've been taking medications for X amount of time and it's really helped, right? And then all of a sudden we kind of stop. So that might be a sign. Definitely feelings of withdrawal, any kind of feelings of disassociation. So kind of feeling numbed out, almost feels like you're watching your life like a movie that you're not really in it. Any feelings of like hopelessness, definitely withdrawn. I always mention ADLs. So ADLs, sleep, eating, showering, hygiene, paying bills, if family's involved, am I involved with family or not? Am I chatting with other people? So kind of I'm a very holistic, so I like to check every kind of sector, kind of what's
Mhm.
going on. What does work look like? Did I miss any work? Am I withdrawing from work? If there's any previous attempts or previous thoughts, that's always something to look out for. Specifically with domestic violence, like if we have a bag prepared, that's always a good sign, right? If there's a preparation for a bag. If I do I have access to money, bank accounts, car, my own job? phone, family, friends? Have these things been compromised because of the relationship? Um, some of those, if it's difficult to do any kind of self-care, if it's hard to put myself first or even think about myself, let alone because of family or just other responsibilities kind of taking over, right? If we start noticing some of those things you can do, kind of check on people. I don't think people check on each other enough.
You're
Just a
right.
simple question, hey, how are you?
That you're so
There's a lot of people that talk about, we just want to feel heard. A lot of people want to feel heard. They want to feel heard. They want to feel seen. So
true.
checking in, how are you? What's going on? Is there anything that I can do for you? And some people just need a vent. They might not need advice or problem solving. And so that's always a
Right.
really good question to pose too. Do you want me to listen? Do you want advice? And that really helps meet your people at where they're at rather than
Yes.
trying to problem solve or lecture. Maybe they just want to vent it out. And the number one thing I always tell people, you can always call a wellness check. It's not ideal. It's not, and I understand that because that's a whole nother ball field of a conversation that I can get into. But when
Woo.
it comes down to really, really worrying about somebody and their safety, you can always call a wellness check. Hey, I just need to do a wellness check. Can somebody pop over there and check on them? Right. And so,
I want you
first,
to hold that point. I want you to hold that point, okay?
mhm.
See, did you see my cheat notes over here, Krystal? Because
Went right
I
in there.
you saw my notes, girl. But because that is something that I do want you to touch on a little bit. And I know you can't go into a whole whatever,
Yeah.
but I have recently come across some folks that don't they want to, but they don't know how to, or so I want, or if they have reason to. So I
Right.
do want you to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Kay's question in, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then I want to come back with that piece. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go to Kay's question. I got to get a drum roll for these hot questions. All right, there you have it. So I think everybody can see it, but I'll read it just because. Is the mental health sector understaffed and overwhelmed by the volume of needs since COVID? The reason for the X is that it can take greater than 60 days to get the initial appointment. Go for it,
Just
Boz.
oh, such a question. Such a question. I love this question. Um, yes, entirely understaffed, overwhelmed, overworked, underpaid. I'm sure a lot of people can also relate to that as well. Just that whole sector of it. I think it was before COVID, and I think after COVID just exasperated, just just upstirred it, right? Entirely. So I think with a combination of both, yes. While I also think it's also where you're looking,
Mm,
right? And so based on where you're looking, and I think in general, it's really hard to connect therapists to people, right? As a private practice, small business owner, I can get you in Monday. I can get you in tomorrow, right? I can probably get about five, six, maybe seven people in this week, right? And that's just a guesstimate. I could probably get in more
mm,
for a consultation.
mm-hmm,
So if you go to certain agencies, companies, also where you're located is a really big thing. If you want telehealth in person, there's a lot of different specifications that will break that down of how quickly then can I get seen, right? And then now there's a lot of different companies that are coming up, that try to connect you, and it's starting to get very murky after COVID too. And
mm-hmm.
so I do think by the time trying to find an agency, that can be already hard. And that's a lot of work. And that's incredible work for people who also are already struggling. And now you're telling me I have to do a lot of footwork to now
Right.
try to find my therapist. And then when I finally get my therapist, I have to wait for X amount of time. It's very discouraging as well. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of layers of some of those problems that
Right.
hopefully kind of get mitigated. But, you know, yeah, it can take longer. And yes, the mental health sector is understaffed and overwhelmed. And yeah, that's the reason that it can take longer to find that appointment, and hopefully trying to research and make it a little bit easier. Some other therapists will also kind of have ideas to try to reach clients so that we can get clients in sooner, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think you need to branch to North Carolina. Just my personal opinion. I'm
Listen, I
just
want to
saying.
branch all over. I want to branch everywhere. I wish I could.
That might be a good starting point, Krystal.
Yeah.
Come. We need you here in North Carolina
Yep. I'll come.
and Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm originally from Virginia.
Love it.
Virginia and North Carolina need you.
Okay. Solid. Yeah.
Let me see. Can I say this? Especially Guilford County of North Carolina really needs you. I'm just saying. Just giving you some ideas.
Okay.
You know,
All
as
right.
you know, I know you're stretching in 2024. You're breaking some yokes and stuff. And so, you know, I'm your girl. I'm here to help you break some
Noted.
yokes. You know,
Love it. Thank you.
That's how we're gonna work this. Because Krystal, I feel like Krystal and I are forming this real unique business bond. I don't know what it is, Krystal. You might think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for real, right? But from our first conversation, even just listening to you in our group, I was like, and I was just you were just giving y'all. Don't be asking what group we in and your business, but we'll tell you later. But you were just giving so much good information at that time. And your guys, this chick right here. I'm sorry, I don't mean no disrespect when I call you chick.
That's fine.
She know I don't.
Yeah.
But this chick right here is so humble with what she does that it just it's like it just comes out of her. She doesn't mind talking about this field that she's in, and she doesn't mind letting people know that it's a real thing out there. And she is just so calm, cool, and collected. But boy, I tell you, it's a whole lot of wisdom up in that head right there, y'all. Don't let that don't let that little girl face fool y'all. She is wisdomatic. Look, I made up a new word, wisdomatic.
You did. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You know, that's the reason why I said you got to come on the show. We gotta stretch people out there that
I
don't
know. I'm just, I'm feeling this. Absolutely.
Yes, and y'all might be able to see Krystal come back real soon on Uncensored Conversation. I'm just saying. You never know. Krystal, I'm gonna give us another break because mentioning about that who's coming back on, who's coming up, and who's coming back to Uncensored Conversation. We want you to go ahead and get ready for it because Krystal's probably coming back, but we also got some other folks. So check this out. right, Krystal. Now you got to come back. You got to come back. And let me also tell you guys, because my girl, she out there with us tonight, Taisha Power will be coming back on fourth Sunday night on February the 25th. And y'all already know what my girl, she is my co-host, Krystal, and she talks about nonprofits. So we'll be back. Taisha will be back with us on the fourth Sunday. She is going to be a regular here on my show, and she's going to be talking about nonprofit. And she's giving us the 3 T's: the tips, the tools, and the topics that will help us keep us embraced with finding out about those nonprofit agencies. And so, that she's somebody I want to connect. I'm gonna connect you and her together.
Yeah.
See, I told you I got some ideas, girl. I got some ideas. I tell you, my brain never sleeps. So Krystal, I want to touch on a couple of more things. I know it's almost 8 o'clock, but I want to touch on a couple of more things because y'all look, I'm trying to stay on because I'm trying to stay to my schedule. It just means you got to come back. That's all that means. That's what happens. See, that's what happens. So, Krystal, I want you to tap in again, like I said, about that wellness check piece.
Yes.
Give us a little when to, if you in doubt, and don't do it if you don't know.
Such a good question. Well, the first piece is you can call, well, if it's an emergency, obviously. You also have an option to call the non-emergency line in your county. So you can do that as well. And that's how you'll chat with somebody. Listen, this is what's going on. When to call? That's a tough question because nobody knows you better than yourself. And so I'm going to say if you have your instincts tap in and they're like, I'm not quite sure what's going on over there. This doesn't sound good, or it's not seeming good. Something's not settling well with you. If we haven't heard from the person in a minute, another telltale sign is if they start giving things away or selling things or just kind of shuffling things out, right? That's always a telltale sign. So yeah, anytime you're unsure, you can't go wrong with it, right? And so my first instinct is going to say, just call and make a wellness check, right? Just call. If you're on the fence, then you should probably just call, right? I always tell people, if you aren't sure, if I'm on the fence, if I'm noticing this, there's no harm in following through. There's no harm of making that phone call, or if I'm not quite sure how I'm feeling, right? If you're not sure how you're feeling, you want to make sure you're okay. You don't want your anxiety or anything to kind of rev up more. And if anybody's had anxiety attack or a panic attack, feels like you're almost having a heart attack. Right? So I want to check that I'm okay. And so even if I have to have ambulance come out to check on me, just to make sure that I'm okay, it's going to settle my anxiety, right? It's going to settle that anxiety. And then maybe I might be able to sleep more peacefully than having it race in my head. So I think my first rule of thumb, I'd always say, even if you're unsure, just go ahead and make a wellness check, right? And, it's just a fact of checking up on the person that you care about and the person that you love.
Right. Yeah. Now, are wellness checks, are they anonymous? Can a person call in anonymously?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know a lot of people have, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but when we have on the show opened up the doors about domestic violence, people have said, hey, I don't want to get involved, but I know something's going on. Well, that means you're involved. Okay. Let me just correct you because you're already involved. Because if you think it, know it, then you're involved. But a lot of times people don't because, and I get that part of it because it can be a little tricky if the person is physically abusive, and I get it. Been there, done that. So it is anonymous. Is there, does the person have, if they call in anonymously, are they able to call back and find out if someone has went out? What's the status of after they do that?
I believe you can call and for a status check of, hey, I made this phone call. I wanted to get a status check on the wellness check. I think also it depends if then that answering dispatcher links you with the officer who will go out to do the wellness check, where it's like, okay, can I leave my contact information for only the officer where I can get an update? Right? There's something like that where you can kind of have that conversation. It's also going to be a little bit of the person that you kind of get. I mean, the nice thing with the wellness check, it's not like you're filling out any paperwork. You can just call, make the wellness check. And yeah, you can see if you can request a call back with the status while still remaining anonymous. I would just have that conversation with them. They're usually pretty good about it.
I like that. I like that. Oh, we got another hot question from Miss K. Look, K, you better stay out my notebooks too. I was gonna ask her
Love
the
it.
question before she got over here. I'm gonna you and K been looking in my books. I'm gonna have to fire y'all. So K's second question is, or an additional question is, from the perspective of the client, what questions should be asked to know if the therapist will be a good fit? And I also want to tap in a second part to that. What about insurance? Because a lot of people don't want to go to a therapist because they may not have insurance.
Love this question. Okay. Love this question. Music to my ears.
Hmm?
I always think it's a good idea to research questions when you sit with a therapist, right? Um, your first thing is logistics. Definitely insurance. Do you take insurance? Do you not? Can you check my copay if I have one? And if they do not take insurance or do not take yours, do you provide me a super bill to give to my insurance for reimbursement? Always a good question. And if
Definitely.
they do have private pay, do they have a sliding scale fee? And what is that sliding scale fee? So they should give you a minimum to a maximum of what those sessions look like, right? So those are really good questions when it comes to logistics. The other things are your schedules, telehealth or in person, evening hours, morning hours. How does that kind of look like for our schedules, right? Other good questions would be, does a therapist assign homework? Big question. Do you want to do homework? Do you not want to do homework? Because that's a
There you
question.
go.
Some therapists, oh, look at thumbs up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I give homework sometimes. I love homework. I don't give it all the time, right? But what we're trying to do is give you something to see if it works in real life. And what I tell people is trial and error, right? I think
Right.
another really important question is, does their personality fit your personality where it complements, right? And so, for instance, what I explain to my clients is I am very go with the flow. I am not rigid. I am not very structured. I'm not coming into session with a plan for you. I'm just coming in to see where you're at. Where are you at today? How are we feeling? Let's work on this today. We'll kind of get to the rest when we get there. So it depends what type of style you want to see from your therapist. I think that's always an important question. I think another important question is, when you have a consultation and you're kind of explaining to the therapist, this is kind of what I'm looking for of what's happening in my life. How can you help me in these areas? Right? How can you kind of address some of these areas? And so usually when I do a consultation, client will kind of tell me a little bit what's going on, and I can specifically tell them, here's what I have experience in, and here are the things that I know that kind of fit your areas, right? And so a good example is, I know recovery and addiction like the back of my hand. I know it so well. And so anytime I have a client from that, sector, like, listen, I know this. So some people like having a client who knows a lot in that field, while
Right.
also, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you out in a heartbeat because I know. And that's another
Mhm.
important question to ask your therapist is, how accountable are they? Are they going to keep you accountable? Are they more straightforward? or are they not? Those kind of things, right? Because you kind of want that style to really match you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
extremely forward. I have word vomit. I'm going to tell you very directly.
I love it. I love it.
Right? I'm not going to tippy toe around anything. So I think
She's
that's
not. Mm-mm.
yep. I'm going to straight to the jugular. I'm going to tell you, right? And so I think that's the other important thing. And also, you just want to have that good rapport with people, right? I personally adore all of my clients. They're great humans, right? And so, well, I love people in general. I love people. I think people are great. And so as long as you kind of have that rapport and it creates that safe space. I think that's also a
Yeah.
really great question is how are you going to create this safe space for me so that I can come in here and indulge
Mm-hmm.
my life? Because that's what we're here for. I'm here to kind of create this safe space for you so that you can indulge too. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot more questions. I can go on and on with that question, Kay. I can literally go on forever about that. But
Well,
that will
she'll be
kind of
back
help. Yeah, that'll kind of help get it started of what to ask somebody. Yeah.
because I find talking to you is just so. And guys, don't y'all think I'm trying to be funny or butter her up. This is just how I talk to her. Okay, she's just cool, man. I mean, like, you're so soothing, but I also know that you're not gonna play. You don't play with me. You know,
Mhm,
I feel like if I was, or when I have whatever, you're gonna be like,
mhm,
look, Vic, look. I'm gonna need you to go back and do your homework. I gave you
mhm,
homework on that.
mhm,
You are that person. You know what I mean?
mhm,
When people see and talk to you and hear you, it is not just the soothing, it is truly the accountability that's in you, because the things that you even talked about tonight, guys, if y'all do not know, this girl is absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm telling you, she ain't no fly by nighter. She cool people, but not only is she cool, but she ain't gonna play with you. She's not gonna, I don't think you're not a sugar coater. You're
mhm,
not a person who gives you this, well, look here, honey, just take 2 aspirins and call me in the Murrington. No, you're going to say, take 2 aspirins and call me in the morning after we done had this conversation,
yeah,
after you done
mhm,
done what I told you to do. Have you done
yeah,
this yet? Did you do that? But
yes,
then but I mean, your nurturing in the field, you do it in a certain way that
mhm,
people gravitate to you to be able to be free.
mhm,
But in the same token,
mhm,
you're not playing patty cake
mhm,
either. Your time is valuable, and the work that you give to your clients is valuable. And
mhm,
like you said, you're a researcher. You get down to the tap root of it. You're looking at the ins and outs like nobody else can and will. But in the same token, you're not going to let someone play on you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, your expertise in addiction is way past up in the mountains, y'all. So don't be trying to be call her and think y'all gonna talk about you ain't had a drink in 6 months when you just had one before you called her. Okay, that's
listen,
my
I'm
that's
gonna
my ha-ha. That's
know.
my ha-ha, y'all. So don't be playing no more.
Mhm. I'm gonna know.
But but you gonna keep but I truly believe that you are that person,
Mhm,
and I got to say this, Krystal, I don't just put people on my show because I don't like numbers anyway, so it don't matter to me. I don't care if we didn't have anybody in here but me and you, we would still gonna have this conversation, and people
yep,
could catch it live later. We don't care. But
yep,
I don't try to bring people on the show that I don't think I can trust. You know what I'm saying? If it was
yeah,
just me getting your information and say, oh yeah, let me get a little mental health person in here and talk. No, uh, like you, I do my homework.
mhm,
I went and looked at. I was nosy. I went to check
okay,
you out a little bit.
mhm,
Make sure you was really in Florida and not, somewhere else. But everything that you see,
Yeah.
Crystal over here.
I
Wait,
love
Crystal.
that. I love
I
that.
mean, because like you just said, there's things that you need to know about people that you're going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
I don't have
Absolutely.
any problems talking to you. I really don't. I think, it's just that, when you tell me shut up, I'm gonna shut up.
Yep, I do interrupt and I do stop people. And I tell my clients, I'm gonna stop you there. Hang tight. Let me interject real quick. So yeah, it's a give and take, right? It's a
It's
give and take.
it's a give and
Mm-hmm.
take.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, before we go, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring you back on the show. Let me just go ahead and tell you, get ready, because I'm bringing you back to the show.
I'm ready. Mhm.
Let's see.
Yes, please.
March is full, y'all. I got February and March. We already booked. How about that?
That's
Hello,
amazing. Can we give stats?
girl. It's I got February and March, girl. So go ahead and start looking in your calendar for April.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because
All
we're
right.
gonna bring Krystal back to Uncensored Conversation. She's gonna be back with us, guys. Y'all gonna find out so much about mental health that y'all gonna think that that y'all don't had a consultation. Anywho, because so please look at your calendar for April because we're gonna bring you back.
Yeah.
And we do Sassy Saturday because I'm doing Sassy Saturday this coming
And
Saturday with my
I
good
like a
friend
little bit of
Donnie
sass.
Gacky Bates. So Saturday's available for you too. Just let you know.
Beautiful. Okay.
So, but can you, if you had to tell our listening audience tonight, three things that you want them to remember about mental health that will take them on a journey of longevity, that they will never forget these three things that you want them to remember.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Man, that's a really good question. Okay, so first I wanted to thank Kay for questions. Love it. Thank you so much. Great questions. Three things. You're important. It's okay to not be okay.
Mm.
And you are worth giving yourself that space that is dedicated to only you. Good, bad, ugly. You're worth that space. You're investing in you. You're worth it. Did I hit it there? You're worth it. Let
Me and you.
Yep.
Because those are three things that I really believe in, but that last one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say this, and I trust you to tap in and correct me and even expand,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm big on self-worth. Taisha, if she's still out there, she and I both. She has a program called Know Your Worth, and I teach self-worth as a part of one of my classes. But your two things, yes, it's okay that I'm not okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's so y'all got to start understanding that that's important, Krystal, because people want us to be 199 all the time, and I don't know. And you are the expert, and I'm sure that you have your time where it's okay that you ain't okay.
Yep.
And you recognize it, and you do you.
Yep.
And then you are worth not having to deal with if you don't want to.
Yep.
And we do that in a safe environment, safe ways. But it's okay. It's okay if I don't want to pick up my phone today.
Yep.
As long as I'm not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay for me to need a break. It's okay.
Yep. It's okay to say no.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go. It's okay. It's okay. So Krystal, I am so glad you are here tonight, my friend. I tell you, this is a new love relationship, y'all. Just move on out the way. Move
Yeah.
on out the way. But Krystal, I want to thank you so much for saying yes to coming on the show. It's been something that I really wanted to happen on the show. We've had different people talk about it. We had some individuals come on a while back that had an event that was, geared around mental health. But to have you in the house, the expert, means a lot to me to have you here, because not only are you given the tips, the tools,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
Taisha, do you feel me, girl? Do you feel me, Taisha? The tips and the tools and the
Mm-hmm.
topics that are truly affecting our mental health right now, and the situations that are happening. I'm gonna actually talk on one. I'm gonna tell you. No, I'm not. I'm gonna say you're gonna come back. I was gonna look. I want to keep you on the show for another hour.
I know, we can probably sit here and talk the entire night.
Y'all get out of our conversation. But you will be coming back, and I already know what I want to talk about.
Okay.
So
Nice.
we'll get together and we'll talk about that.
Yes.
But Krystal, it's been a pleasure. It is
Yes.
such a breath of fresh air to my world.
Oh, good. That's
Girl.
what I hope to embody, right? It's just opening the conversation. And I want to thank you. And I'm so honored. And you should be incredibly proud of yourself, of this beautiful platform, and just creating this safe space for not only your host and your guest and the world, for people to really soak it in. So thank you.
Oh, see,
Here's your compliment.
you're trying to make me cry. So you better stop now. I'm about to call. Look, I'm gonna call your office.
Did I mention I was a therapist?
Yeah.
I'm all about self-love. So
y'all
anything
feel
to spread it.
just feel the vibes. I think what is Skittles? Can you feel the vibes or whatever it was?
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I think I referenced Skittles in my bio because I just love them so much.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. We ain't talking y'all no more. We got to talk about the rainbow Skittles. Anyway, yeah. And the sour Skittles. Okay. Anywho, so Krystal, again, you will be coming back. Guys, look for her. If her schedule allows her to come back in April, she will be coming back, and we're going to have another hot topic when she gets here. So y'all get ready, because Krystal's coming back to Uncensored Conversation. It is such a pleasure again, my friend. And so, guys, if you have not went out there and subscribed, I suggest you go out there and subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube channel. See my therapist is over here is telling me what to do. Yeah. Look, I need y'all to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I need you to go out there and subscribe today, because Krystal, guess what? They may miss us if we ain't on Facebook, so they better go over to YouTube and some other places, because we might not be here on Facebook, y'all. We just say it. We just tell you. So subscribe so you don't miss when Krystal comes back. And subscribe so that you can find out more information. We're going to continue to share this video. Look, y'all going to okay, Krystal, I got to let you know.
Yep.
I'm a TikToker you out there too. I'm gonna put some I'm a snip us and put some TikTok out there. Maybe that dude will find us and
love that.
Yeah. I might find him for you. But anyway, guys.
Perfect.
But y'all subscribe and look, go out to Krystal's page. Y'all know what it is. It's right there. Y'all see it, My Therapy Hour. Go out there on Facebook and find her. Go ahead and hook up with her. Go out there and give her a phone call and say, hey, I just want to stay in touch with you. And I want to book some consultation, just a free one. Not the, and look, if you're going to talk to her more than 20 minutes, I'm going to need you to pay her. Anywho, I'm just saying, 20 minutes, she's up. She's up. But guys, we thank you so much for being with us tonight. Krystal, if you stay with me for just a few more seconds afterwards, because I want to tap you for something. It's hitting in my head. So, guys, we will see you next. We will see you on Saturday. We're coming on Saturday with Super Sassy Saturday with my good friend, my little brother. Donnie got the beats is gonna be here on Saturday at 2:00, and Donnie's got a new piece of music that we want to be able to tap into on Saturday. We also want to know what's coming up new with him as well. So come on now. I won't be here next Sunday because I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl. None of my teams are playing though. But then on Monday night, it'll be Miss Carrie Price with All About Music. Will be with us on Monday. We're gonna roll over to Monday night just for this one time. But anywho, but Krystal, stay with me for a few moments, guys. It's always a pleasure to be on Uncensored Conversation with you all out there watching. And remember, it is time for you to be empowered, embraced, and educated to be what? Elevated and not tolerated. And we'll see you real soon. Krystal, hold out with me.